Hi everybody, welcome back to Sending Ravens. How's everybody doing? I'm doing really good. Really good. There's so much news. Oh my goodness, today was just news. Started out my day by hearing that Mr. T was going to do a class lawsuit against basically social media's platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Google, I believe. He's going after Google. And it's a class lawsuit. So I'm going to read on that on the Tarot by Janine for tomorrow's video. So I'm not going to look into it on this video, but go watch Tarot by Janine tomorrow for news on that. And if it's a class lawsuit, doesn't that mean others can join? So if you're in the United States and you've been kicked off those social media platforms, I wonder if you could get groups of people together and just thousands and thousands, millions of people get on that class lawsuit. That would be brilliant. That's a brilliant way to shut down some of those, literally illegal activities that are happening on these social platforms. They're literally against the Constitution. And I don't care what their policies are. They're absolutely, as far as I'm concerned, breaking the law, kicking everybody off like they are just for not having the same far left views. So yeah, get on there if you can. Find out if you're an American. So I want to look at, I read this thing just before I came on here. So I'll just read it out because it's pretty self-explanatory once you get all the words on it, okay? So globalist technocrats, interesting, to hold a Bilderberg-style secret meeting, which is really hilarious because it's pretty much on mainstream media, this secret meeting, okay? In Idaho this week, big tech moguls, investors, and intelligence insiders, interesting, former government officials, and titans of industry, somebody's got a real way with words here, are set to meet in Sun Valley, Idaho. So if you live in Sun Valley, Idaho, keep your eyes out for this bunch, okay? This week for an annual conference held by intensely private investment bank Allen and Company. No idea who that investment bank is, but I guess if they're intensely private, and how did the word get out if they're so private? So I really want to know, how did that even get out? What's really going to be going on? Because we know a lot of the people that are supposedly going to be there, as far as I'm concerned, they're rounded up, or they've got they're in kind of deep trouble with the white hats. So I don't know who's going to be there. This should be interesting. So I want to look at what's up with that, like what's really going on. And then did you guys hear about the Haitian, I guess he's a prime minister of Haiti. You know, we know what's been going on in Haiti for a really long time. That's literally been a gathering place to gather, I got to be really careful with my words, but humans, in particular children, infants, for all kinds of nefarious purposes perpetrated by dark cult members and likely deep staters, because lots of government, and you know who I'm talking about, the H&BC couple there, past president of the US and wifey, who we know are likely no longer on the earth plane, okay, or certainly being processed if they haven't already been. Lots of descriptions about what happened when they were being processed, and etc. on Real Raw News. So we don't know how much of that's true and how much is the imagination of and or the just made up stuff. We're not sure, but what I am sure of is they're rounded up a long time ago, absolutely, and the cards agree there. But anyway, so that couple were famous for hunting there in Haiti using their charitable corporation, okay, to disguise what they were really doing. Yeah. So we know what they were really doing. We know what they were up to. So it's very suspicious that this guy got mowed down, apparently, in his own home, and his partner got hurt in the process. So I don't know if any of that's true or what really happened. Did he get rounded up? What's really going on there? So we're going to start with this globalist technocrats to hold secret Bilderberg style, secret, right? Bilderberg style meeting. Let's look at that. What's really going on there in Idaho? And why did they pick Idaho? Does anybody know? Like, I thought Idaho was mostly a farming place, right? I thought it was mostly farmland, like kind of like an Alberta style place. And Alberta has a lot of farming too. So let's have a look. What's really going on and why'd they pick Idaho? I'm so curious about that. Okay. So we're looking at what's really going on here with this globalist technocrats, Bilderberg style meeting they're having. Oh boy. Okay, whatever they're doing, it's probably nothing like what's been reported. We've got this really secretive card. I believe a lot of the people that are supposed to be at the meeting, if they do name names, they're signaling out people that are actually facing judgment or could have already faced judgment. We've got the Chariot. Those people have already been moved somewhere, rounded up somewhere. This thing isn't really going on. I have a feeling they do things like this, and this is a signal to show you just what happens. Anything you hear about it is likely basically largely made up. I feel like we're going to have a situation like the G7 or whatever. Was it the G7 that was held in the UK recently? It was mostly CGI and a whole bunch of fudging going on. I don't even know if Mr. B and wifey there actually went there. Honestly, most people were discovering it was all green screened. And actually, the whole thing could have been green screened a lot earlier. And it was a strange, even the location that they supposedly had, it was very suspect, the G7. So the same thing's going here. I feel like everybody who's going to be mentioned to be at this meeting's already been either processed or in the process of being processed. Okay, so signaling to who's being processed, okay, is really what's going on here. There isn't a secret meeting, Bilderberg style, going on. Okay, these people are actually in really super big trouble. And that's good news because they deserve to be in really big trouble. Yeah, look at some of the names that are supposed to be attending and decide for yourself what those people have been up to. Okay, so let's look at this Haitian guy. So, Prime Minister of Haiti, what really happened there? Because you can be sure that guy's been on the dark side, okay? We'll just say deep stater for sure, or a supporter, a minion, or a puppet of, for sure, because he's tolerated H and B, C, we'll just say it like that, H, B, and C, that couple of the president of the United States, a past president, his name starts with B and his initial C is his last name. You know who I'm talking about. Okay, and his wifey, they have been hunting and and lots of really dark cultures have used and utilized weather manipulation and all kinds of things, supposed charities, all kinds of things, to literally pillage Haiti of their children and infants and humans, probably not just children and infants. So that's something we know. So let's have a look at, let's have a look at what really happened with that fella. Ooh, lots of aces here. Interesting. Well, right off the bat, there's no passing over cards. So the guy's still with us. Okay. He's still with us. And he was known to be the Dark Hatter for sure. 3 aces. Oh my goodness. Okay, he's been moved right out of there. So he's facing a judgment. He's been moved right out of there. This was a good guy op. He's facing really serious allegations here. I think we got a tribunal going to happen soon here. I wonder if this is the roundup that was happening that was so important that Mr. T had to put off some plans. Otherwise, he might have had July 4th. Now, a lot of people wrote me and said he never actually said he'd be at Rushmore July 4th, Mount Rushmore. And then other people were writing me saying, you know, similar to what I was getting around it, which is he got called to a really important op where the White Hats were on some really important op and he had to be there. But other people said maybe they even threw it out there where he was going to be on July 4th, just to throw off the Dark Hats. I'm calling them the Dark Hats. Yeah, that's my new word for them. Dark, nefarious sort of agendas hats, those guys. So that's interesting. So this guy's still with us, but he's been rounded up, people. I wonder if he was that really high profile rounding up that I was picking up on the Tarot by Janine channel. So let's have a look at, I'm just going to look around. Apparently, the Ever Given has finally been released from, it was in a holding place close to the Suez Canal. So it was there 100 days and it's finally been released. I'm just going to look around what was happening while it was held there for 100 days. And will we ever find out, literally in mainstream, because all the truthers know what was on that ship. But in mainstream, will the regular folks who are not what we call red-pilled, are we ever going to know literally in sort of everyday circles what was on that ship? And if so, when? Because that would be nice. That would be a good red pill moment for a lot of people. Wow. They're really handling the human race with kid gloves from what I can see. Yeah, so big secrets and horrific things were on that ship. Absolutely. This is like a lot of people had expired, actually. By the time they found them, they weren't with us anymore. So we know that. We know there was a certain number of people that didn't make it who were in those containers. And that would just make sense, especially after 100 days of it being held up. I mean, but you would think that the good guys would have taken off anybody that was still with us on the Earth plane, but a whole lot of people hadn't made it even by the time they were discovered, apparently. So there was a certain amount of people, that were, passed over already. It's unbelievable. And all kinds of other things. So it wasn't just human cargo. It was all kinds of cargo, like very nefarious cargos, like let's say, I can't say certain words here. I got to be so careful. Let's say things that go boom and cause destruction. Yeah. and in wartime might come in really handy. There was all kinds of things like that on there. And apparently there was also a big weather, sort of a whole system that was going to change the weather and create massive drought and a really bad situation for growing things, farmlands and growing things. Like there was a whole system that was going to destroy, basically create weather and destroy, like really bad weather, and destroy farming, and likely in the US, but probably all over the world. So there was a system they discovered there that, thank goodness, got discovered on the ship, and was obviously that will not be available to the dark hats. So, you know, I can't remember exactly the story around that, but go back to look up Suez Canal in any of my titles, and you'll find it either on the Tarot by Janine or the Sending Ravens, because we talked a lot about it. And also Michael Jaco really went into a lot of detail about what was actually found on the ship. So it was incredible, incredible. Anyway, it looks like they really did do exactly what we were reporting that they did. So of course the mainstream media never touched what was actually found and why the ship even went astray and or sideways in the canal. Okay, we all know why. It was programmed to do that. Good guys infiltrated the programming of the route, is what we discovered. And it looks like the good guys are very happy with how things were handled, and anybody that could have been saved off of there was saved, and all kinds of things were intercepted that would be very destructive to the human race. And you can be sure this is going on all over the world, people. This is just one spotlight on one area. And just on that one ship alone, how much, nefarious things were happening, and things were being toted around and going to be used for very bad purposes against humans. It's like literally against the human race. So this is just one thing that got intercepted, and I know there's so many more, right? So many more. Wow. Thank you so much for watching. Oh, and by the way, what I asked was, when will it come out? It'll take months before normies, we're going to call them normies, actually hear about it. It's going to take months. It's just like the whole 9/11 thing. That took years to really come out. Almost everybody I know, though, when you talk about it, they know it wasn't the narrative that was put forward. So that's interesting. Wow. Thank you so much for watching my video. And do like, share, and subscribe if you haven't already. Bye-bye.